Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, or whatever pronouns you choose, let's whip it out because you watch Starcrash, Zorro, the gay blade. I just whipped it out, Clink. I didn't even let you whoosh it.
Aw, I wanted to whoosh it.
Okay, because you watched whoosh Starcrash. Dr. Alan Berres, Michael Clink, and me, Michael Vanderpool, all three people. We're people.
We're humans. Yes, that is correct.
We're humans being.
You are the Greenville human beings.
And that guy, John Shirley, who's going to interrupt when he should be keeping his mouth shut and making sure our levels are good. Last time we talked about Supergirl. Supergirl, which is by far the worst movie of all time, no matter what Michael Clink says.
Galaxy Lords.
Not a movie. So now we're going to talk about a film that stars the one and only George Hamilton, spoiler alert, twice. I was so freaked out because I didn't know he was playing a dual role in this.
I didn't know it
happened.
Yeah.
I was like, what the? I thought it was, do you guys ever see Kids in the Hall?
Yeah.
Who is the really gay one?
I forget.
The guy that played Buddy in the bar.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Thompson? I thought it was Scott Thompson. He looked a little bit like Scott Thompson from Kids in the Hall.
Yeah, I think Thompson's the professionally gay one from the
Yes. So
and later appeared on Hannibal in an excellent supporting role.
Really?
So who picked this movie? Was this me?
I don't know.
I can't remember. It's been so long ago.
I don't remember whose idea it was to do the gay blade specifically. The Zorro was kind of my idea.
Yeah.
But
well, and then we talked about doing the gay blade, and then we ended up doing the Mark of Zorro, correct? The 1950-ish film, whatever it was.
The actually good one, yeah.
Yeah, that was actually a good movie. I failed miserably and lost that episode. So we decided...
So we are acknowledging that then, good.
Yeah, I think so. No, we're not going to try to fool people. I'm an idiot. I'm an idiot with disk management problems. Disk. I said disk.
Yeah, you did.
Yes. But see, this is how, this podcast, for those of you who are just here for the first time, is pretty much just a cluster bomb. We've met a couple times trying to put some order on this thing, trying to put some lipstick on the pig, but really what it is, we just spank that pig on the hiney and let it run wild, get dirty.
I love the colorful language that you're putting together to make this word painting up here. This is nice.
Do you know where the colorful colors came from? It came from the gay blade.
Oh, there you go. I brought it back.
Yes. See, it's all tying together.
So are we, just to start out, because there is a lot of innuendo, are we saying that gay is the nowadays gay, or is gay the happy blade?
Alan, do you know the history of the word gay?
So, we talked a little bit about gay coding back when we talked about Zorro, the Mark of Zorro, because it's pretty clear that Don Diego, his alter ego, is pretending, along with being just effeminate and lazy, is also being kind of coded as gay. There's a bunch of lines indicating that he probably prefers the company of men, to use the Simpsons euphemism.
I think the proper term is like lighten the loafers.
Well, yes. So again,
there are a lot of terms like that, but we need to be careful about that.
Okay.
I'm going to earn my paycheck for this episode.
Yes, you will.
Yes, there'll be of careful editing. So that said, this is the subtext of Mark of Zorro made text. Now, Don Diego himself is still mostly straight. I'd put him in the George Hamilton metrosexual category, where, again, he's straight, but he really pays attention to his appearance. Of course, he's got the classic George Hamilton tan. I mean, he's looking good. He's looking put together. But then his brother shows up. Now, Ramon, a.k.a. Bunny Wigglesworth, is his obviously gay brother. And they never directly say, yes, I am a homosexual at any point during this discussion. But they mean gay in the homosexual way here. There is no other way around it.
Yeah,
Bunny Wigglesworth is every gay stereotype of the 70s crammed into one character.
Yes.
And I would hate it if George Hamilton was not so damn... If he was not clearly having a damn fun time doing it the entire time.
He loves this. Like, this was...
His grin is amazing. I was just constantly... He's really selling it.
It's like, hey, look at me.
Uh-huh.
But Alan, seriously though, the word gay as it's evolved. Do you have any history on that being the good doctor?
I remember when gay definitely became the marker for homosexuality, but I know it was by 1981, which is when this came out. So definitely by this point, it's not. I wouldn't even say it's a double entendre. It's a single entendre. It is. The title of the movie is meant to be somewhat... It's meant to be a pun to a certain extent, because the idea of like Zorro as being a enthusiastic and happy fighter for the downtrodden is pretty well established. We could describe him using the older word gay.
Mm-hmm.
However, in this case, it is very much okay, and now we're going to introduce Bunny Wigglesworth and remove any doubt about this situation.
So the homosexual, or the whatever we want to call it, leanings, even though there was some of that in the Mark of Zorro, which was that 1954?
48 earlier.
Is it early? Okay,
I want to say it was like 48 or something.
but is there any bit of this homosexuality? Or
It's 1940.
1940. Okay, wow, yeah.
Okay.
Is there any of that in the source text?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'd have to go back and read it.
Shirley, can you look that up? Go read the original Zorro for us right now.
Yeah. You get on this. Actually, not if it was actually going to do something.
Yeah. You better cut that, or else you're going to get in trouble.
Yeah.
You think anybody that I know and care about will listen to this?
Oh, wow,
man.
We're still not putting flowers in the attic shit in the middle of my podcast right now, so we're going to cut that out.
I don't.
I don't know what's going on. We've lost all control.
Berres has very, very clearly had a drink.
It's good. Yeah. I wish I'd had a drink. I watched this morning.
Of course you did.
I'm learning my lesson.
Hey, Alan, I remember my first beer.
Alan's in academia. He's been drinking every day for the last 20 years.
Yes.
So you watched it this morning?
Yes, because I learned my lesson. Like, I'm not going to remember if I watched it last night.
Yeah.
So I watched it this morning. And I was pleasantly surprised until about halfway through the movie, and I started losing interest. It's not a great movie. We can admit that, right?
No. I mean, George Hamilton's like the only, like he's like the occasional, like throwing in his whole like effort into the role is the only good thing.
Yeah.
It seemed like...
And by the way, did we catch the Supergirl connection?
Yes. Brenda Vaccaro. I have a quote.
Oh, yeah.
I have a quote from Brenda Vaccaro.
Okay.
She does the same in this that she does in Supergirl. Like,
Yeah.
she's got
She
that,
is kind of a one-note instrument.
Yes.
It really
Yes.
comes down to it.
The entire time I'm watching this, I kept thinking they're trying to make a Mel Brooks
100%. Yeah.
movie.
I think I wrote that in my notes. Dime store Mel Brooks.
It's discount Mel Brooks. Yeah. It's Mel Brooks without Mel Brooks, and it doesn't work.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny at times. I laughed more than a few times. But it's not like ever. I have no desire to watch this thing again because I don't feel like I missed any of the jokes.
Yeah.
If I did miss one of the jokes, it's not that funny of a joke.
Yeah.
It's really on the nose.
But the thing about Mel Brooks movies is he doesn't watch just the one, but he goes through the whole catalog of said movie or genre that he's going to spoof, and he'll pull things from all those different ones. Like, if you look at Young Frankenstein, all the different Frankenstein movies that have been out, he pulls stuff from each and every one of those and then makes the joke about it. or the Dracula movie or whatever. And this seemed like they took the one movie, I think it was the Mark of Zorro,
Yeah.
and then they just said, okay, let's just use this.
This is set up to be a sequel to the Mark of Zorro, correct?
Kind of.
Because it's not Don Diego, it's his son.
It's his son.
Yeah.
They dedicated this to the director of the Mark of Zorro at the beginning. So it is intended to be, I think it is intended to be a spiritual sequel, if nothing else. And it's supposed to be about 50 years later. So we get the 50 years AZ at the beginning, 50 years after Zorro.
Yeah.
And then we get the new Don Diego Vega.
Is this a superhero movie then?
Yeah, that's a great
As
question.
much as Zorro is,
Yeah.
I mean, it still has this, it's a parody of Zorro.
Yeah,
but it still involves the same Zorro element.
Yeah, it's got a guy in a cape and a mask running around, quote unquote, dispensing justice and fighting for the people. But
acting as a vigilante with a secret identity.
yeah,
and
but
all that stuff.
what is his motivation? He was told to do it, so he does it.
That's really weird. Like
Pretty much.
the whole front part thing.
Yeah.
This movie, just the beginning of it's really, really weird. It feels like it takes a long time to get to Zorroing,
Yeah. Well,
or establishing the need for Zorro.
yeah, and it seemed like it
Feels
was
kind of forced.
a similar situation to one you guys had made fun of. We all did, of the '78 Spider-Man movie, which we lost that episode too. But but in there too, Peter Parker just asked them, "Hey, if you have superpowers, what would you do?" And they said, "I'd fight crime." Like, all right, let me do that.
Yeah.
It just didn't seem very genuine.
So long, professional wrestling. I'll do that later.
Yeah. So again, back to the whole superhero thing, right? He's a hero. I think we could all agree he's a hero. I don't think he's a superhero.
Well, but the thing is, then we get into Batman.
Batman's superpower is his intellect and his bank account.
Well,
So then, I mean, really,
neither is really superhuman.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's been debated now in the DC comic universe that his intellect is metahuman. He's like the third most intelligent person in the DC universe. There's Mr. Terrific.
Ridiculously intelligent.
Yeah, there's Mr. Terrific. There's Lex Luthor, and then there's Bruce Wayne. I think.
George Hamilton has a super tan.
Yeah, he does.
Does that count?
and
That would count.
and his skin is not leathery, which comes with a super tan. So he's got super pliable skin.
So George Hamilton is and I don't know if this is true because I heard it from somebody, but supposedly the rumor is that when George Hamilton, because he's from Tennessee, I think from Memphis, Tennessee, which amazing job with the accent, George. You fooled me.
I think he did a good job with the accent. I liked it. It was entertaining. I didn't like his twin brother one.
Yeah. But supposedly, and again, this is probably just bullshit I found on the internet. George Hamilton, how he got his start into Hollywood is he had his tan, good looking dude, rented like a fancy car and just started showing up at hot spots. And people started asking, who is this guy? Who is this guy? And he created his own buzz by creating this image of.
That's smart.
Yeah.
It's a good idea.
Hey, if it's not true, I don't care.
It should be.
I mean, if it's not true, yes, I'll go edit his Wikipedia page right now and so let it be written, so let it be done.
And I wouldn't be surprised if his weird doppelganger, Dirk Benedict, probably got his start in the same way.
Fake it till you make it. So was George Hamilton ever in a let's say the James Bond spoof by any chance, or any movies like that?
He was in I want to say it's Love at First Bite. It's a Dracula.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kind of fun. My roommate from college loved it.
Is that the one with Jim Carrey? Was that with Jim Carrey?
That's Twice Bit.
Oh, that's yeah. Okay,
But
sorry.
The Love at First Bite is weird because he's known for his tan, and he plays a creature that doesn't like the sun. Because
I am positive there's a joke.
Yes.
That in there too.
yeah, but probably not.
His tan is the most notable thing about the bit.
Now I think this. So let's go back a little bit to the. And I'm going to throw in a quote here. The whole Mel Brooks kind of dime store, just watered down version of what Mel Brooks would do. There are some really good lines in this movie. And there's not as many sight gags, I don't think, as some of the stuff you'd see with Mel Brooks. But
Until Bunny shows up, and
then every wardrobe change is a sight gag. But so at the beginning of this movie, they, similar to the Mark of Zorro, they establish that he's an adept sword fighter.
Yes.
Right at the very beginning. They also establish that he's a ladies' man because he is.
Same exact scene. Yeah.
Yeah, he's sleeping with a woman whose husband comes home.
Too early. Apparently.
Too early. But it's to George Hamilton's house. Right? So he wasn't in the other man's bed.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Because George Hamilton says, and this is the line I love, you entered my house without permission. And then the husband of the woman he's with says, I can say the same thing about you and my wife. Which I thought was a really clever line. So there are some good lines in here, but it doesn't it's not consistently funny.
The things with his accent are nice. Where he goes, you smell like the oil from the sheep. And then she's like, what are you talking about? The big boat? It's like, no, the sheep in the water, or in the field. Like, what are you talking about?
Yes.
But, and that's...
Yeah, there's a couple mispronunciation or misunderstanding guy.
Justice.
Yeah.
Yeah, or...
Justice.
Or, oh crap, what was it? There was one that I had up. It was about vowels.
Well, he looks... Oh, yeah, that was funny, too. Well, he looks for that, though. You guys see Three's Company back in the day? With John Ritter?
A little before my time.
Okay. Well, Three's Company was a show on TV where my mom didn't want me to watch it because I guess Jack Tripper was gay, or the character, was that his name, Jack Tripper, in the show?
John Ritter?
John Ritter played Jack Tripper.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, sorry, so that was a confuser. So I guess, and this was probably when I was 13 or 12 or whatever, and my mom probably knew that it was about, someone pretending to be gay to live with two women, and I had no clue. I just liked it because Jack tripped on shit.
Exactly the premise.
Yeah, I just liked it because Jack was goofy and tripped on stuff, and the two females were attracted when I was 13. But so remember the next door neighbor Larry?
Yes.
And he had the gold chains and the chest hair, and that's exactly how George Hamilton is dressed in this song.
Yeah.
The quote goes, there is something wrong with your bowels?
Yes.
And then, my what? Your bowels, your eyes, your ears, your eyes, your use.
How is that written in there?
It's written phonetically.
You read, okay.
It's written phonetically. That's why I'm saying it phonetically.
Nice.
Okay.
Jubals.
Jew, J-O-O is Jew.
Nice.
You.
So the lines that I picked out while we're on the subject of dialogue, I am prologuing the duel, my friend, because I see you need the practice. To help the helpless, to befriend the friendless, and to defeat the defeatless. It just cracked me up. And then remember that there is no shame in being poor, only dressing poorly.
Alan, did you find anything worthwhile for a tagline for the episode? Because if not, I've got one to throw in contention.
I think give it a try, because I was going to go with one of those.
Okay.
Taglines.
So, Don Diego, who was the original Zorro, his son, who George Hamilton, what's his name anyway? Kid Diego?
Don Diego. I think he's Don Diego Jr. or something.
So the elder Diego is killed when his horse is startled by a turtle. Correct?
It's not a turtle. It's something else. I thought.
It's a tortuga.
Okay, because they said that they captured all of them and killed them or something.
The line here that I think this is a quote that would work well for the subtitle for this podcast. I want you to know that the turtle who caused this has been executed.
That's what it was. Yeah.
All right, I like that one.
Yes. So Shirley, mark it. Don't clap, because then you're gonna have cutting the good stuff.
Or there are two more possibilities.
Fabulous. We'll vote at the end.
Seems so freer than most men.
Who is that said by to? What's the context of that? Where's that at? I don't remember.
I don't remember.
Okay.
What that was.
I think it was the lady talking to the brother Zorro.
Yeah.
The gay Zorro?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I think it was Lauren Hutton's character talking.
Yes.
Who, as far as I can tell, is the only character that Lauren Hutton ever plays. She plays like the feminist who shows up in town and is then humiliated somehow into loving the manly man love interest. She also appears in Viva Knievel, opposite Evil Knievel.
Oh my.
Is horrifying, and we should watch at some point. Actually, we should have watched that as part of the superhero season. Damn, I wish I thought of that.
You know what? The season can go on forever.
It's an incredibly boring movie, though, so maybe it's best we didn't see it. And then finally, this is not Zorro. I think captures it pretty well.
There is one. It is a beautiful day for a reign of terror.
Yeah. Who's the big bad in this? I liked him.
He's Captain Esteban.
Alucard, yes.
Yeah,
Alucard.
Yeah, Alcade.
Yeah, sorry, Alucard is Dracula backwards from my Castlevania friends out there. Lauren Hutton, she was also in, I think her film debut was in the film Paper Lion, which is a movie about the book that George Plimpton wrote about he was a journalist and went and played for the Detroit Lions, or went through spring training camp with the Lions.
Look at you putting the Lions in this podcast too.
I know. They won this week.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
That's why you're in a good mood.
Exactly. I had my blue shoes on Monday and everything. Okay, a couple of WTF moments.
Okay.
The bear suit.
It was a dog and it was a pig, and
yeah, I guess we have to set it up first, right? Okay, so
also make sure you spell out, is it BEAR or BARE?
Okay.
There is a difference and it's important.
Yes,
it's not a birthday suit, no.
One is the birthday suit, the other one is
a suit that's supposed to look like a bear.
yes, Fozzie Bearish kind of.
Yeah.
George Hamilton. George Hamilton has a sidekick
He's mute.
who's a mute, and
Paco.
Paco or Taco?
Paco.
Paco. Okay.
His name is not as insulting as Taco, but it's almost as bad.
Sorry.
Paco.
Yes, it's hard to understand the accent. I apologize.
That's the whole point.
I think so. We should do the rest of these podcasts.
No,
with the episode.
I think we might get in trouble if we did that. Like,
No,
I feel bad about doing that little bit that I did.
really?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Maybe. Do we have any sponsors?
Nah, never.
Then you say what you want. Well, Lego should sponsor us.
But so George Hamilton's sidekick, Paco, who's a mute, serves as a little bit of visual comic relief.
Yeah, he does a good job.
Yeah, for not having any lines, I think does a phenomenal job. But the very early on in the film, Hamilton is going to a costume party because Esteban, the alcalde, has just been recently elected to that position. So is alcalde, is that like the sheriff? Kind of, sort of?
Yeah, the Alcade.
He's the sheriff of Nottingham in this, right?
He's like I'd put him in the category of being like mayor.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's like the head man of the town.
Well, I mean, is this then similar to like the sheriff of Nottingham? Because there's obviously some Robin Hood-y type connections, robbing from the rich and blah, blah, blah.
I don't know. Who knows?
Okay.
As far as I can tell, it's the mayor, and he's got the power of the military behind him.
Yeah, I don't think they put that much thought into this.
Well, the original author, I think, probably did.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But I don't think.
we can go.
Yeah, I don't.
Shirley, how's it? Are you getting through chapter 1 yet?
I've made it all the way through chapter 2.
Fabulous.
Oh, nice.
But there's a costume party at the very beginning, and that's where we all of our players kind of come together. Lauren Hutton's character, who's trying to start a revolution, I guess, because Alucard is taxing people. Alucard's wife is obviously not satisfied in bed, and George Hamilton and his bear friend go to the party. George Hamilton gets a coffin of his dad from his dad delivered that reveals the secret that his dad was Zorro, and now you have to be Zorro because reasons.
Destiny.
Yeah.
Destiny. So George Hamilton is going to dress like Zorro to go to this party.
Yes.
It's dumb. But anyway, we will continue.
And then his sidekick is dressed in like a Fozzie Bear looking suit for the party.
Yes.
And George Hamilton says, "What are you dressed as? A duck?" And I'm like, what? Makes absolutely no sense. Dog I could see, but was he saying dog, but it came out as duck?
Dog.
And it came out as duck?
Yes.
Oh, okay. It's not as funny now, but that's...
Okay, so this might not make the thing, but what was kind of funny is that part where she talks about, she makes love to her husband 12 times a year.
One day.
And yeah, one night 12 times, and he goes, does he eat anything special?
Yeah, exactly.
She's like, lots of garlic. He's like, huh.
I think that's again, back to the whole, like, bargain bin Mel Brooks type stuff. Like, it does have some notes or some things that hits, but for me, especially the second half, I get really bored and probably missed actually a couple things that were probably funny because it didn't necessarily maintain that throughout.
I was half expecting there to be a big all-out fight like there was, but then it spill out like in Blazing Saddles. It spill out into the studio and kind of break the fourth wall because that's what it felt like it was going to do, but it never went anyplace else.
Yeah.
Like not even breaking the fourth wall that way, but maybe going into a different movie studio or a different movie and then being in that movie still or something.
Or like the sword piercing the craft services guy. Shit like that, right?
Yeah. That was in Robin Hood. Men in Tights.
Men in Tights.
Yeah.
We're manly men.
Yeah.
CarreyOnce, I think, was a stunt double for some of the swordplay in this movie.
Really? No, he wasn't. He was young, yeah.
Melvin Simon, who I'm going to say is a cross between Mel Brooks and Paul Simon. He was an executive producer on this film. Guess what other film he was an executive producer on?
What other film, sir?
Porky's and Porky's the Revenge.
So he's went laterally instead of...
Yes. Some
The more you know.
Yes, some people just go sideways for their entire lives. Speaking of sideways, Alan, how's that bottle of beer?
Oh, jeez.
Oh, I'm done. Don't worry.
Can you have another one?
Oh, so I got another WTF moment. Then I want to hear some of yours. Colonel Puff Puff. When Bunny Wigglesworth or Wiggles whatever is introduced, they mention Colonel Puff Puff as being part of like either the person he was serving under, pardon that pun, or visual. But yeah, the introduction of the gay Zorro, for lack of a better way to name him, Zorro's brother, was really, really weird. The gay Blade, yeah.
Yeah.
It was really, really weird.
And he
kind of came out of nowhere almost.
Yeah, and he serves really no purpose except Zorro accidentally broke his foot, so there has to be another guy to act like him. If they would have introduced the brother around the same time or just a little bit after the main Zorro, I think that would be better, but he just came in and then left and then came back at the end. Like, I wasn't going to leave you. Like, okay.
Yeah, that whole Han Solo thing.
Yeah. Except not done well.
It wasn't? He was wearing gold. It was like C-3PO and Han Solo had a baby.
That's disgusting, because C-3PO, no.
Yes. So you guys got to have some WTF moments though, right? I mean, come on now.
All right, let's save this podcast from becoming a /fic podcast and talk about my profound disappointment. My profound disappointment at Bunny Wigglesworth. I think just the name, I was like, okay, fine. But that is a WTF right there.
Yeah,
like, could you tone that down just a little bit, maybe?
Because and pardon the language again, comedy is when absurd things are happening or being said and it's played straight.
Yes.
Those are the funniest things, right? Like Will Ferrell in Elf isn't telling jokes. He's being deadly serious with nut hugging tights on.
Or Steve Martin in The Jerk. Hilarious because he actually believes what he's saying is okay. He hates these cans. Like, okay.
And it feels like the gay Blade was just here to tell jokes.
Yeah.
This could have been better if it were an airplane or Kentucky Fried Chicken type thing too, with those guys or Kentucky Fried Movie. I'm sorry, with those guys.
Like, I'm hungry.
Right.
No.
But those type of guys have the same thing too with Leslie Nielsen or Liam. Leslie Nielsen.
Liam Neeson. Yes.
I would love to see Liam Neeson.
But he comes in and he goes, "We're really rooting for you," to the pilots as they're trying to land, and then at the end, after they land, he comes in, he's like, "We're here for you. We're really backing you up," and then he leaves again, and I am serious. Don't call me Shirley, and this like that.
Hi, JC.
Call me Airplane.
Surely you jest.
Surely I do.
I do have a good thing in this movie.
What's that?
I thought the score was pretty good.
Yeah.
I think the music they did a good job with the music.
Didn't they borrow the score though?
Well, the whole, what's the theme that's used from the original Zorro?
Yeah, I think it is from the original because I was going, where have I heard that before? Oh, duh.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, then the rest of the music outside of that, I thought they actually did a pretty good job. It kept me entertained.
This movie's called The Gay Blade. Well, Zorro the Gay Blade.
Yes.
Yet the character that we're supposed to see as homosexual actually doesn't know how to use a sword and uses a whip, we're not getting into that. But anyways,
I think it's a euphemism.
Anyways,
Yeah, I kind of think it was intended.
But why was it called the gay blade then?
Well, you see, when a man loves a woman.
That's not not here at all.
Sorry. You see, when a man loves a man. I don't care. I'm here for me and the crickets. I don't care about anybody else.
Those don't sound like crickets. They sound like a rusty wheel.
Would the gay whip be better?
Probably. It would be more apt. Or just let him...
would be accurate.
Let him be...
The label would then match what was in the tin.
Exactly. Let him be a little bit okay with the sword, but not amazing.
So
which one sounds better? The gay blade or the gay whip?
Yeah, gay blade, I guess, does sound better.
It sounds better, but then just give him a blade. Is that a whip?
Yeah, I don't know why they decided
to
do that.
Put a blade on the end of the whip.
That's a thing. They have lightsaber whips too, and Legends.
Yes.
Books.
Yes.
Which is crazy because then you just take off an arm and... Anyways.
Yes.
So when does this take place? Like what year is it supposed to take place? Late 1800s, mid 1800s?
Man, it's a crazy time.
I got to go back and look at my notes on the original sword.
I want to say it was
years after that, so...
Yeah, I want to say it was like mid to late 1800s.
It was... Well, okay, so historically in the film, there's 13 states. Because remember, Lauren Hutton's character is talking about them joining with the rest of the country. So Los Angeles at that time, but Bakersfield exists though because the Dawn of San
I don't
Paulo.
That's just a dumb joke.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. Like, if we take the things in the film as reality, Bakersfield was a city.
I don't think this is totally starkly accurate.
Well,
I'm sorry.
I don't think it's worth talking about anymore. I'm gonna go home.
Let's say it's mid 1800s. Okay.
Sweet.
So if it's mid 1800s or even early 1800s, how does Zorro's brother, what's his name, Bunny? How does Bunny get all of those outfits so quickly? They're amazing, by the way.
Cheap, indigenous labor.
How does Bugs Bunny get the women's dresses he dresses up in? That show up because it's funny.
Alan, that's a cartoon. This is real life we're talking about.
So where
Just saying.
So hold on a second.
What's the comment?
This is interesting, right? Where does this men dressing up like women for comedy come from? Because it's really big.
Way back.
So it's in obviously Bugs Bunny cartoons. It's also a big, huge part of African American entertainment, right? Like
and
Amadeus.
Yeah.
Vaudeville, and
there's an element of it in Shakespeare. Although it's just it's like a little bit of a hint, because of course your female leads in Shakespeare plays were played by boys.
Yeah.
So,
but that wasn't necessarily for.
Occasionally there'd be a little bit of a acknowledgement of that, but it wouldn't be much. But that is, as far as like a comedic tradition of it, I'd say at least that old. And I bet we could probably find older too.
It surprised me because when I saw the character on screen, I went to IMDb and, obviously I just skipped over the top half because I figured, okay, that he's going to be down there in the list. And I couldn't find him. Like, what the freak? And I scrolled back up, or I did a Control F to find or whatever it was, and saw that it was George Hamilton playing them. Like, holy cow. He did a good job.
Yeah, to be fair, they did do a good job with the dual role, given that they did not have the magic of CGI or anything like that.
It wasn't Cap versus Cap.
So he had a plum outfit.
Gold,
which was the pinnacle, right?
They went through the whole thing. It was plum, apricots, avocado, which is a fruit, but you thought it was not a fruit.
Look,
what?
Clink, what did we learn? An avocado is a fruit was going to be my, what did we learn? Mother fricker, I knew I shouldn't have started talking about this. Now I got to think of something else. Quick, keep going.
Good luck. I can't remember all the other ones.
It was red, because of the rosa.
Oh,
yeah.
Like an apple.
Can you roll your R's? Wow. Can you roll your R's?
No.
Mine sounds like a Wookiee dying. I try to roll my R's.
Wow.
It's okay.
So the Alcade. Anyways, he is Rachel Green's father in Friends.
I'll be there for you.
That's the words, but that's not the.
That's not how it goes.
That's how it goes, but that's not how it goes.
I'm so confused. Do.
Anyways, I saw him and I'm like, I know that guy.
No,
That's Rachel Green's father.
no. Rachel Green's father is a guy from Days of Our Lives.
No.
Wait, who's Rachel Green?
Jennifer Aniston.
Oh, Jennifer Aniston's father in real life is from Days of Our Lives, Victor Kiriakis.
I did not know that.
You're saying that Rachel Green's dad in the show.
Well, I said Rachel Green and not Jennifer Aniston, but yes.
What? I'm so confused. Alan, I need a drink. Okay. I'll be over in 5 minutes. What, did I let you finish or did I interrupt you?
I don't know.
Do?
You always interrupt, but it's okay.
I do a lot, don't I?
It's okay.
I'll work on it.
I'm used to it.
I'll work on it.
Okay. And we learned recently that
Are we ending now? COVID.
that is what I've learned, not from this movie, just from this podcast and recently, that interrupting makes you look like a small child.
With orange hands.
What? We know. We did not say anything about that.
Should we just talk about America right
Interrupting? No, interrupting is rude.
now? Okay. Interrupting is rude, and I apologize for every time I've ever interrupted you, Clink. Alan,
thank you.
I apologize to you as well.
Vander President 2020.
I'm just trying to keep the show going. I ran for president in 2008. Did you know that? I was the first presidential candidate to use on social media, on MySpace. 2008.
I was
MySpace.
MySpace, yeah. I actually had people invite me to their college to come speak.
Did you?
No.
Why?
That's a lot of pressure, dude. I was just doing it as a goof.
Very cool.
In 2008, I was too young to be president, so that was my platform. I can tell you the truth because I can't actually win.
Oh, okay.
So that was my shtick. Anyway, enough about me. Let's talk about me.
No, geez.
Alan with the X. I even stole Alan's exhale. I'm just a horrible person. I'm like Ferris Bueller.
You were nowhere near as cool as Ferris Bueller.
Yeah, that's probably true. What else do we have about this wonderful film? Does it compare to any of the other Zorros, which I've never seen? Although Antonio Banderas.
I have seen the Banderas Zorro.
So does that have some of the gay stuff in it?
I don't remember it.
I don't think so.
That,
Yeah.
but then again, I might not have been paying as much attention at that point. I don't know.
That was better because Anthony Hopkins was the older Zorro, so then he is training the younger man to take his place, and there's more of a
Obi-Wan.
reason
Mm.
instead of, hey, you're Zorro. Oh, okay.
And there's no Bunny Wigglesworth.
Yeah, but in the letter it even says, I don't know which one of my sons is going to get this, but it's your destiny. Like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and it's all about taxes, right? At the end of the day.
Taxes are evil.
Yeah. Don't pay them, people. If you're smart, you don't pay taxes.
Anyways.
I don't think I have to clap that.
I was trying to keep all this kind of neutral, but all right.
And if you're even smarter, you'll cut the taxes.
Surely. Clap that. Wait, you're on a separate track, right?
I am.
We can just delete that whole track. It'll save us all about it.
And then you'll sound real stupid because it'll sound like you're just talking to nobody.
Well, it's almost like my classes. Almost like my classes.
Do you actually think people listen to you?
I think so.
You're very wrong.
It's fine.
That's mean.
That's
me.
The truth hurts.
We're here to change lives.
I'm here to melt snowflakes, Clink. And there's
See, he does listen to me because that's my line.
it's not. What are you talking about?
I came here to do two things, Shirley.
What?
Change lives and change diapers.
And he's all out of changing lives.
When was the last time you changed a diaper?
Dude, the last time I changed a diaper, I pulled a muscle, and it was rough, dude, because I'm sitting there with a poopy-ass diaper, and my back locks up. Anyway, have kids, folks. Now that we've devolved into pure nonsense.
I thought that's what this was already.
No. Why? Who invited him?
You did.
Ah, fuck.
You're paying it. Sucker.
What else do we want to talk about with this movie? Because, I mean, it was cool, but do you want to watch it again?
No. I actually watched it last week, and then I was going to watch it last night, and I got 15 minutes in. I'm like, I don't really want to watch this anymore.
Yeah.
Would you recommend other people watch it?
Yes. Why? To experience it.
Why?
Because we went through this, so they have to too.
The same reason we're teachers, to inflict upon you the damage that was inflicted upon us.
Just because you made a bad decision doesn't mean the rest of us have to make the same bad decision.
Yes.
I mean,
Learn from bad decisions.
Did this movie do well? Did anybody look up at the box office mojo or any of that nonsense? I mean, When did this come out again? Early 80s?
1980.
Yeah, this is 81.
81?
Which incidentally gives us the date for the Joker being set. Because Joker, we assume it's 70s because everything in it is screaming taxi driver.
Right.
But it turns out it's right at the end there. And again, New York, well into the 80s, was still in that same 70s dystopian hell pit. So it still worked out pretty well. It was betrayed as such anyway in movies.
Yeah, so...
And the Joker, the gay Blade, appears on the marquee of the theater.
It's the Zorro movie that the Waynes go see, which is kind of cute because it's the Zorro from that time period.
Yeah.
Which is interesting because in the Batman mythos, is that how you say that word?
Yeah.
Or mythos.
Mythos, yeah.
If you want to be really...
I don't have any letters behind my name yet.
Perhaps you could wear mithril as well while you're at it. Wow.
Because in the Batman world, that Zorro then is typically the inspiration for some of what Batman becomes. It would be interesting to see Batman.
No,
is it the Batman and Robin timeline? where
Probably, yeah. But then in Christian Bale Batman, it wasn't Zorro, it was an opera. What was the opera? Had bats in the opera.
Was it Deflator Mouse? The really obvious one?
Maybe, I don't know, but there were bats and he was scared, so then they left early because he was scared, and then it was his fault.
All I know is the Frank Miller Dark Knight Returns is the only Batman I really care about. And that was
it makes sense.
the Mark of Zorro. Yeah.
I would recommend, if you have not read it, Grant Morrison's Arkham Asylum, A Serious House on Serious Earth. It is it's the Batman that's stuck in my head. But
Nice. Make sure you get that in the notes, Shirley. So
This movie's budget, going back to that,
yes,
was $12.6 million, and it made $5.1 million. So no, it was not successful.
and this movie isn't on Netflix. You can't even buy it on Amazon. I thought this was going to be a struggle. I just got posted in Slack. I'm like, I don't know how we're going to find this movie. And 2 seconds later, I was like, here you go. And in an archive, I'm like, oh, thought there'd be a story there.
that was an accident, by the way. I'm not that good.
That was a story.
That was it.
That was a story.
Has there been a modern? Okay, so like we're getting different takes on kind of Superman and some different takes on Batman. Obviously, has there been a retelling a little bit of Zorro in like the past 10 years, or is he kind of a forgotten character?
I don't know. I mean, I think the Banderas Zorro was really the last attempt to engage it.
Maybe kind of.
I'm certain it'll come back at some point. I'll be very interested to see what direction it takes when it does come back, because I do think that a modern sensibility really does prevent, I hope, a lot of the blatant stereotyping and the bad accents and all of that other stuff that goes along with it. So.
What was it? There was a movie. How do you think I have this outrageous accent? What is that from? Anyways, I'm tangent.
But I
But I am familiar with the line.
Yeah.
I'd like to see. Well, Shirley's googling it. I'd like to see a modern Zorro, not set in the 1800s or whenever that thing was set, because I think that some of the
Monty Python Holy Grail. Oh, there it goes.
There you go.
I think that there's definitely some interesting things. Well, there's obvious connections, right? Because you've got taxes, you've got wealthy military class, poor people, blah blah blah. But I guess
The boring stuff,
there's enough of that going on in the world that we don't need a drama or regarding it. But it might be kind of cool, right? Like Zorro, I think, is a cool character.
Yeah.
Well, Zorro is also, you got to remember that Zorro is, because of that California location, Zorro is kind of a Hollywood figure, ultimately. He's sort of like the origin story of California in lots of ways. So,
Because it's the revolution,
placing
right?
it in California is very important for him. You can't do it in, say, Mexico. It has to be California.
What if it's a post-apocalyptic Zorro movie set after all the trees burn in California? That would be badass. We should start writing that right now.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it now.
Do it now, man.
Do it.
Today, have you ever seen the Shia LaBeouf thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, sweet. Alan, have you seen it? Shia LaBeouf. The Shia LaBeouf, just do it motivation video.
Oh yeah.
in front of a green screen because it's awesome.
Everything is. Oh shoot! Now I gotta cut that too.
No, that was short enough. You don't have to.
It was
Yeah, it's 3 seconds.
sweet.
Fine.
So I wonder. Man, I can't say that. Damn it!
No,
so
you
many
can
things
say
I
that.
can't say. Well, I'm like, okay, so if you're gonna have sex 12 times in one day, you can't go for a long time each time. Kind of got to be in and out, right?
You sure about that?
Have you seen Brenda Vaccaro? I think it'd be a pretty short time.
Wait.
Wait.
If it's short, does that mean it's anyway?
She makes a boob joke.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, thank
'cause-
God for small favors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some
Oh,
clever stuff in there.
I was get back. You can't say that.
I can't say.
Any of that.
Yeah, we'll just cut all of it.
Yeah, we're now just making it up. I'm just buying time to think of what I learned.
there's another one where it's you're the bravest man I've ever met, and then he goes, I'm very impressed with myself too.
No wonder I like him. All right, folks. Unless there's anything else, I think I'm pretty good. I'm happy. We lost an episode, but gained a friend.
Yep.
That's a pretty gay sound effect. I mean, it is.
We're not going to be able to use any of this episode.
We're not be able to use.
It's Wars of the Wasteland all over again. Except
Is it really?
we'll have it this time.
No,
I'm not defending the homophobic movie this time.
Well, you didn't have to say that then.
Is this movie homophobic?
No.
No.
It is stereotypical.
Yeah, it's just like us back in the day in the 80s. We used to use the term homophobic, what are now considered slurs, probably even then were considered slurs, to poke fun at each other and try to make each other laugh. Right? It was
That's not quite what's happening here, though. There's not like a moment where, I don't know, it's a weirdly non-judgmental movie.
it's like I'm queer and I'm here.
Well, they even
Right.
say you're very comfortable with yourself.
Yeah.
So it's almost like
Well, and
they see masculinity as very bunched up and very much about, how is everybody going to see this? And he's very loose and comfortable with who he is.
is there ever anything negative said about him because of his orientation? I don't think there is. Yeah.
Kind of, that it's kind of like totally dodges that.
Yeah.
ultimately.
It's like
So
I'm queer and I'm
maybe that's why I kind of enjoyed
yeah.
George Hamilton camping it around here.
But again, they never once talk about gay. They just say that this is an effeminate man who likes to dress up in different colors.
Yeah.
And doesn't like the advances of,
Brenda Vaccaro,
yeah.
or her character is.
Who specifically went out of his way to join the British Navy, which has a long tradition of rum sodomy in the lash.
Of what?
He, that's one of the terms used. It's also a Pogues album to describe the British Navy.
Oh my.
Sail the 7 seas in the Navy.
Then there's a reason that the Navy got stereotyped as the gay service.
Anyway, what what I'm saying is this could easily be a kids. You could show this movie to kids,
100%.
and it not be like, oh no.
It's because it's just like Three's Company.
Right.
The part about homosexuality or whatever, even though Three's Company, he's playing a role, whatever, it's not disparaging in any way.
Although there is more disparagement in Three's Company just because of
The Ropers.
Because of Mr. Roper and Mr.
Yeah.
Furley. They both have like the landlords. They're both constantly making references
Yeah.
that are denigrating, but
Yeah.
kind of funny in a denigrating, terrible way.
Is this in the same boat as Chuck and Larry? I now pronounce it Chuck and Larry.
I've
haven't
seen
seen
that,
it.
but that was so long ago.
That was like how long ago was that movie? It came out in 07. Oh, that was a while ago. Yeah,
Yeah, we're getting old, Clink.
1980 was 40 years ago.
Thanks.
You're welcome. You old.
I wasn't born yet.
Clink, when were you born?
Don't worry about that. 84.
Don't worry.
Damn. Okay.
So did lightning strike in this movie? At any point, was there lightning strike in this movie?
What does that mean? Was it good? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm just wondering if there's a way you can sneak in a Back to the Future reference before we're done.
I mean, it was out west in the desert.
Oh, jeez.
I wasn't trying to go there.
I was just giving you an opportunity to go there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that.
So, all right, folks, I think that's enough because we've beaten the gay blade to death.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like I've done a pretty good job of not saying some inappropriate things today. So what I've learned...
Yeah, thanks to editing.
I've learned that when it comes to being sensitive about other people's feelings, deep down in places that don't exist, I care a whole bunch.
And that's just a pile of BS.
Clink, what do you...
That was
Shut up, Shirley.
that was nice.
Thank you.
I always tell my students to be creative with their words, and that was very creative.
Thank
It
you.
meant nothing, but that was good.
Thank you.
Like it.
I'm a teacher. I can say all kinds of things that don't mean anything.
Such beautiful emptiness.
Yes.
I learned that avocados root.
Oh, you mother...
It's so much fun to just watch. I learned to be comfortable with myself because
I learned that for Halloween, you should go as the golden gay Zorro.
that would be not. It's not gay, dude. They never say it's
so
gay.
gay.
They never say
He
it's
is
gay.
so gay.
They never say it.
He's totally coded as gay.
I've never...
Yes, but they never say it.
I've never said I'm straight, yet I'm... Man, I don't know what I am.
Exactly. Exactly.
Hey, you know what my dad used to say?
No, I've never met your dad. I feel like we're gonna cut this out.
Yeah, probably. Said, if you're bisexual, it doubles your chances of getting a date.
I mean, he's not wrong.
I know. He's a wise man.
Wise man.
I feel like that's an observation of math and not a judgment on someone's orientation.
In the Navy.
No.
What'd you learn in the Navy?
I learned that if you are a young man who wants to go off into the world and join the British Navy, you can totally lose your incredibly awful Spanish accent.
Your ridiculous accents.
Maybe he joined the Navy when he was 3, before he actually,
Learn to speak.
Yes. All right, folks. Well, that is, I think, enough for today. I mean, people, if you want us to go on, you then like us, tickle us, whatever it is that they do on the...
Don't do that one.
No, you tickle the button.
Stop.
You go like this to the button.
Stop. For the love.
For the love of what?
All things good and holy. Of
Yeah,
the button.
He listens to me. He says the same stuff I do.
He does.
I know.
I'm mocking you. He likes you.
He does. He's going to be me. He admitted it today. He's going to be a teacher.
He is using the master's house to dismantle, or the master's tools to dismantle them.
Yes, he's going to be a teacher and hate his life just like the rest of us. Yes. Actually, he doesn't know I'm training him to take over his body.
Release your... Whoa, that's messed up. That sounds a little...
All right, folks. We'll see you later. Say bye, folks.
Bye, folks.
Bye.
Wow. What the hell?
That wasn't that bad.
He's still recording, by the way.
I don't care.
Okay, good.
We're going to be cutting a lot, but I think we'll still have enough for an episode.
I don't think we'll be cut.
We'll have about half an hour of an episode.
I think so.
Ah, that's fine by me.
I don't care. I don't care anymore.